My wife came home from Monaco with a tan, designer bags, and a pregnancy. I'm infertile. She knows it. And she wants me to sign the adoption papers anyway. That's the short version, the version that fits in a breath, the version that doesn't explain how I got here. Standing in my Greenwich, Connecticut home, watching Maria, our housekeeper, carry Louis Vuitton luggage up the stairs while my wife of 15 years hands me a pregnancy test with 2 pink lines. "Aren't you happy?" Melissa asks. Her voice is careful. Too careful. I look at the test. 2 pink lines. Clear as truth. Clear as lies. "Of course," I say. My voice comes out steady, practiced. "This is wonderful news." She smiles. It doesn't reach her eyes. I smile back. Mine doesn't either. "I should call your grandfather," she says. "He'll be thrilled." Before I can stop her, she's dialing. The phone rings twice. "Charles?" Her voice brightens, transforms. "I have the most wonderful news. We're pregnant. Yes, yes, finally. Robert's right here." She hands me the phone. Grandfather's voice fills my ear. 82 years old, dying slowly in his bedroom upstairs, but his voice still carries that Harrison authority. "Robert, a grandson. Finally. Blood makes you family, son. Never forget that." "Yes, sir," I say, because what else can I say? "Don't disappoint me, Robert. Not now." I look at Melissa. She's unpacking designer bags. Her mess, Chanel, receipts she'll never show me. 2 weeks in Monaco with her book club friends. 2 weeks, and now this. "I won't," I tell him. I hang up. Melissa arranges tissue paper on the bed. "You should rest," I say. "I'll be in my office." She nods. Relieved, maybe. Or maybe I'm imagining it. I walk downstairs, down the hall, past the photos of us, wedding, vacations, anniversary dinners, 15 years of smiling. I go into my office and lock the door. Then I went to my office and locked the door. The safe is behind the Rembrandt print. Combination 05-19-82, my birthday. I spin the dial. The lock clicks. Inside 3 manila folders, 1 legal will, 1 velvet box, and 1 envelope I haven't opened in 8 years. I pull out the envelope. Standard medical office stationery, Greenwich Medical Center logo embossed top right. The paper has that slick official texture, the kind that can't absorb lies. I don't need to open it. I've memorized every word, but I open it anyway. The highlighted section practically glows. Azoospermia, 0 sperm count, congenital, irreversible. 8 years old. This diagnosis is 8 years old. The paper shakes, not from the air conditioning, from my hands. Behind the medical report, there's another document, thicker. Cream-colored parchment bound in navy leather. 25 pages. Gold embossed Harrison family crest on the cover. I flip to page 7, 1 line underlined in red ink by my grandfather's hand. The $22 million trust shall pass only to a biological male heir bearing Harrison blood. $22 million, $4.5 million house. The family investment company, 3 generations of legacy, all contingent on one thing, a son, a Harrison son, by blood. I look at the velvet box tucked in the corner, navy blue. Tiffany & Co. vintage, circa 1960s. My grandmother's diamond ring, 2 carats, platinum setting. Grandfather's been saving it. "When you have a son," he always says, "I'll give you grandmother's ring." I don't touch the box. I never do. I put everything back. Close the safe. Spin the dial. She knew. She'd always known. Melissa is in the bedroom when I come back upstairs, unpacking. She doesn't look up. "Melissa," I say. My voice is calm, too calm. She freezes, just for a second, then continues folding a silk scarf. "When did it happen?" I ask. In Monaco, obviously. "With who?" She looks at me then. "Does that matter?" "It does to me." She sets down the scarf, walks to the window. Our bedroom overlooks the gardens. 2 acres, professionally maintained. Everything in our life is professionally maintained. "Maybe it's a miracle," she says. I almost laugh. Almost. Melissa. What do you want me to say, Robert? The truth would be a start. She turns. Her expression is something I don't recognize. Not guilt, not fear, something else, something calculating. You'll love him anyway, she says. Won't you? Not, I'm sorry. Not, I made a mistake. Just, you'll love him anyway. I look at her phone on the nightstand, screen dark, but earlier when she was unpacking, I saw her scrolling through photos. Monaco photos. I couldn't see them clearly from the doorway, but I saw enough. Backgrounds, hotel rooms, someone's hand on her shoulder. I need to know, I say. Why? So you can be angry? So you can leave? We both know you won't. How do you know? She smiles. It's sad, almost pitying. Because you need this baby more than I do. The words hit like a fist. Because she's right. Grandfather is dying. The will is clear. No biological heir, no inheritance. The company goes to my cousin. The money goes to charity. The Harrison legacy, my legacy, ends with me. Unless. Does it matter? She asks again. Who he is, where it happened. You'll sign the papers. You'll tell everyone he's yours, and your grandfather will die happy. Isn't that what you want? I want to say no. I want to walk out. I want to demand answers, respect, truth. Instead, I say, I need some air. I walk out. She doesn't follow. Does it matter? You'll love him anyway. I'm in my car, driving. No destination, just driving. It's 3 p.m. Spring in Greenwich. Everything is blooming, beautiful, perfect, like a postcard of a life I don't actually have. My phone buzzes. Text from grandfather's nurse. He's asking for you. I drive home, but first I stop at my office, the real office, downtown. I need something. I need to think. I park in the garage, take the private elevator to the executive floor. Everyone's gone for the day. Good. I unlock my desk drawer. Inside there's a folder I keep for emergencies. Insurance policies, backup plans, things you hope you never need. At the bottom, there's an envelope. Manila. I pull it out. Inside, partial Monaco hotel receipts I found in Melissa's coat pocket last week. Not enough to prove anything, but enough to start questions. I'd hired a private investigator 3 days ago. Quietly, discreetly, results pending. I sit in my office chair. The leather is cold. The room is quiet. I look at the receipts. Hotel Monaco, Suite 412, 2 weeks ago. Then I search her name on my computer. I'm not proud of it, but I do it anyway. Email. I open her laptop, the one she leaves here sometimes for work. Password, Emma Rose 0812. Our niece's name and birthday. I scroll through emails. Nothing suspicious. Book club messages, Nordstrom receipts, dinner reservations. Then I see a folder. Personal files do not open. I open it. Inside, one document. Saved 2 weeks ago, before Monaco. I click it. It's a letter, handwritten, scanned. Dear Mom, the girls at school ask why you never visit. I tell them you're busy. I understand. Can I come home for summer? I miss you. Love, Sophia. I read it again, 3 times. The date at the top, 3 weeks ago. Mom, Melissa doesn't have children. We don't have children. 15 years of marriage. No children. That was the deal. She said she didn't want them. I believed her. I read the return address on the envelope in the scan. Ashford Academy, Massachusetts. Boarding school, Sophia. 12 years old, based on the handwriting. Neat purple gel pen. Little doodles in the margins. Hearts, flowers. Dear Mom, a 12-year-old daughter. A daughter Melissa has. A daughter I've never heard of, never met, never knew existed. The paper in the scan is soft from handling. Someone had folded and refolded it dozens of times. The PS at the bottom kills me. I understand if you're too busy. Understanding she shouldn't have to have. I sit in my office. The lights are off. The city is dark outside. I don't know how long I've been here. She had a daughter, a 12-year-old daughter, living at boarding school, and I'd never heard her name. I drive home. It's past midnight. The house is dark except for the kitchen light. Melissa is at the table. tea in front of her. She looks up when I walk in. Where were you? Thinking. About what? I almost tell her, almost ask about Sophia, about the 12 years of lies. But something stops me. If I ask now, she'll know I've been looking through her files. She'll hide everything, delete everything. I need to know more first. About us, I say instead. She nods, sips her tea. And I'm tired. I go upstairs. She doesn't follow. The next morning, grandfather calls a family dinner. Tonight, no exceptions. Eleanor will be there, he tells me on the phone. Eleanor Wilson, the family lawyer, 52, professional. She's handled our estate for 20 years. Is something wrong? I ask. No, something's right. Finally, we're celebrating. Celebrating right. The dinner is formal, grandfather insists. He's downstairs for the first time in weeks, wheelchair, oxygen tank, nurse hovering, but he's here, at the head of the table. Melissa sits beside me, perfect dress, perfect makeup, perfect smile. Eleanor sits across from us. She catches my eye once. There's something in her expression, concern, maybe, or knowledge. She's known this family a long time. She sees things. The butler serves the first course. Grandfather raises his glass. Water, not wine. Doctor's orders. To the Harrison heir, he says. His voice is weak but steady. Finally. Everyone raises their glasses. Melissa, Eleanor, the staff watching from the doorway. Robert, grandfather continues, your grandmother would be so proud. Blood makes you family, son. The Harrison bloodline continues. I raise my glass. I drink. The water tastes like metal. Eleanor, grandfather says, show him. Eleanor reaches into her briefcase, pulls out the navy leather portfolio, the will. She sets it on the table between us. Page 7, grandfather says. Eleanor flips to it, the red underlined clause. She doesn't read it aloud. She doesn't have to. I've memorized it. When the boy's born, grandfather says, this becomes his, 22 million, the company, everything. But he must be... He pauses, looks at me. He must be Harrison blood. Yes, sir, I say. Eleanor will handle the paperwork, birth certificate, legal documents, everything proper. Melissa reaches for my hand under the table. Her palm is cold. And this, grandfather says. He gestures to the nurse. She wheels over a small table. On it, the navy velvet box. My grandmother's ring. When he's born, grandfather says, you'll give him this. Tradition. Harrison men receive it when they become fathers. He looks at me. Really looks at me. Don't disappoint me, Robert. Not now. The weight of it, the expectation, the impossible, crushing weight. I won't, I say, but we both know, somewhere, somehow, we both know I'm lying. Eleanor closes the portfolio. She looks at me, then at Melissa, then back at me. Congratulations, she says. Her voice is careful, professional. Melissa squeezes my hand. Grandfather raises his glass again. To family. To family, we echo. I look at the ring box, navy velvet, Tiffany & Co., my grandmother's legacy. I don't touch it. The dinner ends. Eleanor pulls me aside in the hallway. Robert, she says quietly, are you all right? Fine. Because if you need to talk... I'm fine, Eleanor. She studies me, 20 years. She knows when I'm lying. The will is clear, she says. Biological heir, Harrison blood. If there's... She pauses, chooses her words carefully. If there's any question about paternity, there are legal options. DNA testing, verification. There's no question, I say. She nods slowly. All right, but Robert, if you ever need counsel, private counsel, you know where to find me. I do. And maybe I will. Then grandfather squeezed my hand one more time before the nurse wheeled him away. He looked at me, really looked at me, 82 years old, dying, desperate for one thing, one impossible thing. Promise me, he whispered. Promise me you'll give me a Harrison grandson. I opened my mouth. No words came out. Promise me, Robert. I promise, I said. The lie tasted like metal, like the water. like everything in this house. He smiled, squeezed my hand. Good boy. The nurse wheeled him away. Eleanor followed. Melissa went upstairs. I stood in the hallway, alone. In this $4.5 million house with its 2-acre garden and its professionally maintained everything. I stood there and thought about Sophia, about Monaco, about medical reports and red underlined clauses and navy velvet boxes I'll never open. I thought about the question, does it matter? And I realized it does. It matters to me. Don't disappoint me, Robert, not now. But I already had. 8 years ago, when I got that diagnosis and said nothing, when I let everyone believe, when I let myself believe that somehow, someday, there'd be a miracle. There was no miracle. Just a wife who went to Monaco for 2 weeks. Just a pregnancy that's biologically impossible. Just a 12-year-old girl in Massachusetts who writes letters to a mother who doesn't visit. Just 22 million reasons to stay quiet. I went back to my office. Not the home office, the downtown office. 2 a.m. I sat at my desk. I opened my email. There was one unread message. Subject line, Monaco investigation, preliminary results. My private investigator, 3 days of work, 1 email. I clicked it. Inside, 12 attachments, 12 photos. I opened the first one. Hotel Monaco, security camera angle, nighttime lighting, grainy but clear enough. 2 people. Walking into Suite 412. Timestamp 11:47 p.m. One of them was Melissa. The other was a man I recognized. Julian Blackwood, 44. CEO of Blackwood Investments. My grandfather's biggest competitor. The man who's been trying to acquire our company for 5 years. I opened the second photo. 2:13 a.m. Same suite, same 2 people. Her hand on his arm. Third photo. 7:30 a.m. Coffee on the balcony, close, intimate, 12 photos total, 12 different angles, different timestamps, all the same truth. My wife and Julian Blackwood. I sat in my office, the screen glowed. I looked at each photo, memorized them. Someone had circled her left hand in red marker, no wedding ring, his hand on her back, the way you touch someone who isn't a stranger. My phone buzzed. Email. Same investigator. Subject. Additional finding. I opened it. Mr. Harrison. During surveillance, subject Blackwood made multiple phone calls. Managed to obtain partial recording via hotel security cooperation. Attached audio file. Timeline suggests planning. Will continue investigation pending your approval. I clicked the audio file, put in my earbuds. Static. Then voices. Julian's voice. She'll convince him. She has to. She needs the money as much as we do. Another voice. Unfamiliar. And if he refuses? Julian. He won't. The old man's dying. No heir, no inheritance. Robert knows that. He'll sign anything. Even adoption papers. Especially adoption papers. Laughter. The recording ended. I played it again. 3 times. She needs the money as much as we do. He'll sign anything. Even adoption papers? I looked at the photos again. Monaco, Suite 412, 11:47 p.m. I looked at the date stamp. The contract was dated February, 6 months before Monaco. Then I remembered. Something I'd seen, something I'd forgotten. I went home, 3 a.m. now. House dark, quiet. I went to Melissa's office. The room she uses for planning her charity events. I opened her desk drawer, locked. I forced it. The wood splintered, quiet, quick. Inside, files, receipts, meaningless papers, and 1 envelope. Thick, legal letterhead, Whitman and Associates, NYC. I pulled it out. 8 pages, typed contract, dated February 18th, 2024, notarized, title, Gestational Services Agreement. My hands shook. I read, this agreement is entered into between Melissa Harrison, hereinafter provider, and name redacted, hereinafter father. Section 4, compensation structure. In exchange for successfully bearing and delivering a biological male heir, Provider shall receive $3 million, $3,000 upon completion of legal adoption by provider's spouse. Section 7, requirements. Handwritten notes in the margins. Melissa's handwriting. Must be male. Blue eyes preferred? A question mark, like ordering from a catalog. I read the entire contract, every word, every clause, every calculation. This wasn't an affair. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't Monaco. This was a business transaction, planned, negotiated, executed, February 18th, 6 months ago, before Monaco, before the book club trip, before everything. She planned this, all of it. The bottom of the contract, signature line, unsigned, but everything else filled out. Ready. I took photos with my phone, every page, every margin note, every clause. Then I put it back, closed the drawer, left the room exactly as I'd found it. Except the lock, the splintered lock. She'd notice. Tomorrow, maybe, but I didn't care anymore. I went to my office, the safe. I opened it again. Inside, medical records, will, ring box, and one more thing at the bottom, beneath everything. An envelope I'd prepared 6 months ago, March, just after that February contract date, though I didn't know about the contract then. I pulled it out. Connecticut State birth certificate form, blank official. Father line, Robert Charles Harrison, in my handwriting. Mother line, empty. Child name, Charles Robert Harrison II, in my handwriting. Date, empty. I'd filled it out, traced over it to make it look official. Practice, preparation, a lie in ink. I'd labeled the manila envelope emergency use only in red marker. Like fraud becomes acceptable if you're desperate enough. I held the two documents, her contract, my fake birth certificate, both dated around the same time, February, March. Her crime, my crime, both of us, planning, preparing, ready to lie for $22 million. I'd become what I hated, what my father became, what I swore I'd never be, a liar, a fraud, a man so desperate for validation that he'd forge documents, hide medical truth, and raise another man's child just to hear his dying grandfather say, "Good boy." I sat in the dark, the documents in my hands. The safe door open. The diamond ring box stared at me from the corner. I'd never opened it. Not once in 38 years. I still didn't. I put everything back, closed the safe, spun the dial. The manila envelope felt thin, flimsy armor against truth. I'd prepared it 6 months ago, a fake birth certificate, my name in the father box, all lies, and I'd been waiting to use it. The next morning, I called Eleanor. "I need to see you," I said, privately. "My office, 11 a.m. I hung up. Melissa was still asleep, or pretending to be. I left before she woke up. Eleanor's office is in downtown Greenwich, corner suite, 18th floor, views of the water, professional, discreet. She closed the door behind me. "Coffee?" "No." She sat, gestured to the chair across from her. I sat. "How long have you known?" I asked. "Known what?" "About Melissa." Eleanor folded her hands on her desk. Lawyer hands. Careful. "I've suspected for approximately 6 months, since February." "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because I wasn't certain, and because..." She paused. "Because some things a man needs to discover himself." I pulled out my phone, opened the photos, the Monaco surveillance, the contract pages, the audio recording. I slid the phone across her desk. She looked at each one. Her expression didn't change. Professional. Controlled. "Julian Blackwood," she said finally. "You know him." "Everyone knows him. He's been trying to acquire your grandfather's company for 5 years. And now he's trying to acquire the company through my wife." Eleanor looked at me. "What are you going to do?" "I don't know. You have options: divorce, DNA testing, legal separation, contest the inheritance terms on grounds of fraud, and lose everything anyway. Perhaps, or perhaps..." She stopped. "What?" "There's something you should know about your grandfather's will." What about it? She opened her laptop, typed, turned the screen toward me. The will you saw at dinner, the one with the red underline, that's version 2.3, dated January of this year. Okay. There's a version 3.0, sealed, dated March. After my fake birth certificate, she nodded. I'm the only one who knows it exists, besides your grandfather. What does it say? I can't tell you. It's sealed. Instructions are open only if certain conditions are met. What conditions? If you refuse to adopt the child, or if you confess the truth about your infertility. The room felt smaller, colder. He knows, I said. I don't know what he knows, but I know what he's doing. Which is? Testing you. I looked at the screen, at the sealed document icon, locked, waiting. How long have you known about my infertility? I asked. Since the beginning, your father told me. He wanted legal counsel about the inheritance implications. I advised him to tell your grandfather. He said no. My father knew. Yes. Did he tell my grandfather? I don't know. I stood up, walked to the window. Greenwich below. Perfect streets, perfect lives. What would you do? I asked. I can't answer that. If you were me, what would you do? Eleanor was quiet for a long time. Then, I'd decide what kind of man I want to be, and then I'd be that man, regardless of the cost. I left her office at noon, drove to the hospital where grandfather was being treated. Routine checkup, they said, just monitoring. I found him in a private room, oxygen tank, monitors, nurse adjusting his IV. Robert. His voice was weak, weaker than yesterday. Hi, grandfather. Sit. I sat. The nurse left. We were alone. Eleanor called me, he said. My stomach dropped. She did? She told me you came to see her, asked about the will. I was just curious. I know. He smiled. You've always been curious, like your father. Grandfather, let me talk, Robert. I'm old. I don't have much time. I nodded. Do you know why I underlined that clause? The bloodline clause? Because Harrison blood matters. No. He coughed. The nurse appeared, checked his oxygen, disappeared again. Because I wanted to see what you'd do. What I'd do, when faced with an impossible choice, integrity or inheritance, truth or money, what kind of man Robert Harrison really is. My hands were shaking. Your grandmother... He pointed to the velvet box on his bedside table. He'd brought it with him. She wrote you a letter. Years ago, before she died. It's in the ring box. I've never opened it. Neither should you. Not yet. When? When you're ready to choose. Choose what? Who you are. He closed his eyes. Tired. The monitors beeped steadily. I left before he could see me cry. That night I came home to an email. Subject line, about the baby. Sender, J. Blackwood, blackwoodinvestments.com. Opened it. Robert, I believe we should talk in person tomorrow, 2 p.m., my office. There are certain financial arrangements that could benefit both of us. Don't bring your lawyer. Julian, no pleasantries, no pretense, just business. I stared at the email, read it 3 times. Then a second email arrived, same sender. P.S. In case you're wondering, yes, I know about the medical records, and yes, I have copies. $5 million makes them disappear. You have 72 hours to decide. Clock starts now. $5 million, 72 hours, blackmail. I called Eleanor. He's extorting me, I said. Forward me the emails. I did. She called back 10 minutes later. Don't respond, don't engage, and definitely don't pay. He has my medical records. Illegally obtained. He won't use them. He's bluffing. You don't know that. I know Julian Blackwood. He's a businessman. He'll take money if you offer it, but if you don't, he'll move on. There's no profit in revenge. And if you're wrong, then we'll deal with it, legally. I hung up. 72 hours. You have 72 hours to decide. That was Thursday. By Saturday, everything had fallen apart. Melissa found the broken drawer, the splintered lock. You went through my files. Yes. You had no right. I had every right. She stood in the doorway of my office, arms crossed, defensive. What did you find? Everything. Everything meaning the contract, Melissa. The $3 million contract, February 18th. Her face didn't change. No denial, no shock, just calculation. So you know, she said, I know you planned this 6 months ago, before Monaco, before Julian, before everything. And, I stood up. And you want to know what happens now? Yes, what happens now? Now you tell me the truth, all of it. Who's the father, really? She laughed, actually laughed. Does it matter? Stop saying that. Why? It's true. Does it matter whose DNA is in that baby? You need him. I need the money. It's simple. It's fraud. It's survival. We stared at each other. 15 years of marriage, and I didn't know this woman. Maybe I never had. Just sign the papers, she said, for the family. What family? The one you've been lying to for 12 years? The daughter you never told me about? She flinched, finally. A reaction. Sophia's none of your business. None of my business? You have a daughter, Melissa. A 12-year-old daughter at boarding school who writes you letters you don't answer. You don't understand. Then make me understand. She turned away, looked out the window. I was 19, pregnant. My parents sent me away, made me give her up. I didn't want to, but I did. Then 5 years later, when I had money, I brought her back, put her in boarding school. I visit sometimes. Sometimes. I'm not, her voice cracked. I'm not mother material, Robert. I never was. You knew that when you married me. I knew you didn't want children. I didn't know you already had one and abandoned her. I didn't abandon her. I provide for her. School, clothes, everything. Except yourself. She didn't answer. Who's her father? I asked. Don't. She sighed. A boyfriend, college, he's gone. Doesn't matter. And this baby? Who's his father? Julian thinks he is. Thinks? She turned back to me. It's complicated. Uncomplicated. She stopped, started again. There were multiple options. Julian was one. There was someone else. Who? Dr. Richard Foster, your fertility specialist. The room tilted. What? The doctor you saw 8 years ago, the one who diagnosed you, we've been... She shrugged. He helped arrange everything, the contract, the plan, everything. You're saying... I'm saying I don't know who the father is. Could be Julian, could be Richard. Does it matter? It did. It mattered to me. But before I could respond, my phone rang. Grandfather's nurse. Mr. Harrison, you need to come now. What's wrong? It's your grandfather. Please, come now. I grabbed my keys. Melissa followed me. Robert, stay here. He's my grandfather, too. Stay here. I left, drove 90 miles an hour to the hospital. Grandfather was in the ICU. Machines, tubes, monitors screaming. Doctors surrounded him. Nurses. Eleanor was there. She'd beaten me. What happened? I asked. Stroke, the doctor said. Massive. We're doing everything we can. I pushed through, got to his bedside. His eyes were open, barely. He saw me. His hand moved, weak. I took it. Robert, he whispered, I'm here. Promise me. His voice was barely sound. Promise me you'll give me a Harrison grandson. The machines beeped. The monitors showed numbers I didn't understand. Promise me, Robert. I opened my mouth. No words came. Behind me, Eleanor's voice. Charles, save your strength. Promise me. His grip tightened, desperate, dying. I looked at his face. 82 years, 3 generations of Harrison legacy, all resting on my answer. I promise, I said. The lie tasted like metal, like everything in this family. He smiled, squeezed my hand. Good boy. Then his eyes closed. The monitors flatlined. Doctors rushed in. Code blue. Crash cart. Chaos. Eleanor pulled me back, out of the room, into the hallway. He's stable, a nurse told us 20 minutes later, but critical. Next 24 hours are crucial. I sat in the waiting room. Eleanor sat beside me. I lied to him, I said. I know. I promised him something I can't give him. I know. What do I do? Eleanor pulled out her phone, opened something, showed me. This came through an hour ago from Julian Blackwood's lawyer. Official cease and desist. He's dropping the blackmail. Why? Because someone got to him first. She showed me another email. His wife. Apparently, your investigator contacted her, showed her the Monaco photos. She's filing for divorce, taking half his company. He's got bigger problems now than your medical records. I stared at the emails. Julian's empire crumbling. Because of Monaco, because of Melissa. There's more, Eleanor said. More? The baby, I did some checking. Dr. Richard Foster, the man Melissa mentioned, he's not the father. How do you know? Because he's sterile. Vasectomy. 5 years ago. It's in his medical records. So Julian is probably the father, yes, but... She paused. Robert, I need to tell you something about your grandfather. About the will. What about it? He knows. Knows what? About your infertility. He's known since the beginning. Your father told him 8 years ago. The hallway spun. What? He's been waiting 8 years. Waiting to see if you tell him. Waiting to see if you choose truth or money. That's why he created the bloodline clause. That's why he underlined it. That's why he's been testing you. All of this, the dinner, the ring, the pressure, was a test to see what kind of man you are. I couldn't breathe. The sealed will, Eleanor continued. Version 3.0, I opened it today with his permission. What does it say? It says if Robert chooses to lie, he inherits nothing. If Robert chooses truth, he inherits everything. The money, the company, all of it. No bloodline requirement. But I already lied. I promised him you still have time to tell the truth. I looked at the ICU doors. My grandfather dying behind them. What if he doesn't survive? Then the truth dies with him, and you inherit nothing. And if I tell him the truth, and he dies anyway, then you inherit everything, because you chose integrity. If you've ever felt your world shift beneath you, if you've ever questioned everything you thought you knew, I hope you'll stay with me. Because what happened next changed everything. If you understand what that feels like, just leave a comment. Say, I understand. You're not alone. Because I wasn't alone. Not really. I had a choice. The hardest choice I'd ever faced. Truth or lies. Inheritance or integrity. Family legacy or self-respect. I had 48 hours before my grandfather's prognosis would be clear. 48 hours to decide who Robert Harrison really was. I went home that night. Melissa was waiting. Is he... Alive, barely. She nodded. Relief, maybe, or just calculation. We need to talk, she said. I'm tired. Robert, please, just let me explain. I sat down. Explain. The contract, the plan, all of it. It wasn't... She stopped, started again. It wasn't just about the money. No, it was about us, about saving this marriage. You've been miserable for 8 years. Ever since that diagnosis, you stopped touching me, stopped talking to me, stopped being present. I lost you. So you... What? Decided to get pregnant with someone else's baby? I decided to give you what you needed, an heir, a legacy, a way out of this shame you've been carrying. By lying. By helping. I laughed, empty, bitter. Helping. What else was I supposed to do? Watch you destroy yourself? Watch this family legacy die because of a medical condition you didn't choose? You were supposed to be honest. Like you've been honest? She had me there. I found your fake birth certificate, Robert, in your safe, February, March. Same time as my contract. We were both planning the same lie. The only difference is I actually went through with it. The words hit like bullets. You're right, I said. What? You're right. I'm no better than you. I was ready to lie, to forge documents, to commit fraud, all for $22 million and my grandfather's approval. She sat down beside me. So, what do we do now? I don't know. We could still, the papers, the adoption, it could work. Could it? Your grandfather would die happy. The company stays in the family. Everyone wins. Except the truth. The truth, she said quietly, is overrated. I looked at her, really looked at her. Melissa Harrison, former model, charity event planner, my wife of 15 years, a stranger. I'm going to tell him, I said. Tell him what? Everything, the infertility, the lies, all of it. You'll lose everything. I know. Robert, I'm done, Melissa. I'm done living a lie. I'm done pretending. I'm done being the person everyone expects me to be instead of the person I actually am. She stood up. If you do this, I'm leaving. Okay. I mean it. I'll take half your assets. I'll fight for everything. Okay. She stared at me. You don't care. I care. Just not about the things I used to care about. She left the room. I heard her upstairs, packing probably, making calls, planning her next move. I sat in the dark, in my office, the safe behind me. I thought about opening the ring box, about reading my grandmother's letter, but I didn't. Not yet, not until I'd earned it. The next morning, I went to Eleanor's office. I'm going to tell him, I said. When? Today, this afternoon, before it's too late. She nodded. I'll come with you. You don't have to. Yes, I do. You'll need a witness for the will, for the legal documentation. We drove to the hospital together. Grandfather was awake, barely, weak but conscious. The nurse left us alone. Eleanor stood by the door, witness, silent. I sat beside his bed, took his hand. Grandfather, I said, I need to tell you something. He looked at me. His eyes were clear, knowing. I'm listening. I took a breath. I'm infertile, Grandfather. I have been for 8 years. Congenital, 0 sperm count, irreversible. Silence. The baby Melissa's carrying, it's not mine. It can't be mine. She had an affair in Monaco with Julian Blackwood. He didn't react, just listened. I knew, for weeks now, maybe longer, and I was going to lie. I was going to sign the adoption papers, forge the birth certificate, claim him as mine, all for the inheritance, all for the company, all to make you proud. My voice broke. But I can't do it anymore. I'm done lying. I'm done pretending to be someone I'm not. I'm done sacrificing my integrity for money or approval or legacy or anything else. Tears now falling. I didn't wipe them away. I'm sorry. I'm not the man you wanted me to be. I'm sorry I can't give you a Harrison heir. I'm sorry Stop. His voice, quiet but firm. Stop apologizing. I looked at him. He smiled, weak but real. Good, he said. What? Good, now you're a Harrison. I don't... Integrity, Robert. That's the Harrison legacy. Not blood, not money. Integrity. He squeezed my hand. I've been waiting 8 years for you to tell me the truth. 8 years. Your father told me about the diagnosis. I've known all along. The room spun. You knew. Of course I knew. I made that bloodline clause to see what you'd do. Would you lie? Would you cheat? Would you become the kind of man who values money over truth? The test was always about character, not DNA. He reached for something on the bedside table, the navy velvet box. Open it, he said. I took the box, hands shaking. Inside, the diamond ring, 2 carats. Platinum, brilliant, and beneath it, folded small, a letter. I unfolded it, my grandmother's handwriting, fountain pen, elegant. My dear grandson, if you're reading this, you've chosen truth over comfort. You've chosen integrity over inheritance. You've chosen to be the man I always knew you could be. That's the real Harrison legacy. Not blood, not money, courage. Your grandfather knows, I know, and now you know. The ring is yours, not because you had a son, but because you had the strength to be vulnerable. Real strength isn't making an heir. It's choosing your own path. With all my love, Grandmother Rose. I read it 3 times. Then I looked at my grandfather. He was smiling, tears in his eyes. The company is yours, he said. The money is yours. The legacy is yours. You earned it, not by lying, by choosing to stop. Eleanor stepped forward, opened her briefcase, pulled out the sealed will. Version 3.0, she said, Robert Charles Harrison inherits the full estate, no bloodline requirement, effective immediately upon confession of truth. So here's my question for you, and I want you to really think about this. If you discovered the truth, if your entire life was built on a lie, would you burn it all down for justice, or would you stay silent to protect what you have left? Comment truth or peace. Because I had to make that choice, and I chose truth. Even though it terrified me, my grandfather died 3 days later, peacefully, in his sleep. He left me everything, and I left Melissa. The funeral was small, family only, Eleanor, a few business associates. Melissa came. I didn't stop her. We stood on opposite sides of the grave. She wore black, appropriate, professional. She didn't cry, neither did I. I'd done my crying. In his hospital room, when he smiled and said, "Good." After the service, Eleanor pulled me aside. "We need to discuss next steps," she said. "Next steps?" "Melissa, the divorce, Julian Blackwood, the company, all of it." "Can it wait?" "It could, but I wouldn't recommend it." We went to her office, same corner suite, same 18th floor, same view of the water. She laid out papers on her desk. "These are the inheritance documents. Everything's in order. The company transfers to you. The $22 million trust, the house, all assets." "Okay." "Melissa is entitled to marital assets, approximately 40% based on Connecticut law. That's $2.8 million the Greenwich condo and certain investments." "Fine." "Robert, give her what she's legally owed. I don't care." Eleanor studied me. "You're different." "Am I?" "Yes. Lighter somehow, like you've put something down." I had. The weight of lies, the burden of pretending. "What about Julian?" I asked. "Interesting story there." Eleanor pulled up her laptop, turned it toward me. "His wife filed for divorce. She's taking half the company, but that's not the interesting part." "What's the interesting part?" "The Monaco surveillance. Your investigator sent copies to Julian's board of directors. Turns out having an affair with a competitor's wife while trying to acquire their company is, let's call it, problematic from a fiduciary standpoint. They fired him yesterday, unanimously." I sat back. Julian Blackwood, CEO, competitor, Melissa's co-conspirator, gone. "And the baby?" I asked. "Melissa's 12 weeks pregnant. She's scheduled a paternity test for next month. Voluntarily. She wants to know." "Julian's?" "Most likely, but there's a complication." "Which is?" "Dr. Richard Foster, the fertility specialist. He wasn't sterile like we thought. I had his records wrong. Different Richard Foster, different practice. Your Dr. Foster is very much fertile, and according to hospital records, he had..." She paused. "An unprofessional relationship with Melissa spanning 3 years. So it could be his." "It could be. She's agreed to test both potential fathers. Results in 6 weeks." 6 weeks. Until the truth. "What happens to the baby?" I asked. "That's up to Melissa. And whoever the father turns out to be, you have no legal obligation. The adoption papers were never signed. No obligation. No son. No heir. Just freedom." Eleanor's phone rang. She glanced at it. "It's Melissa. She wants to meet." "Tell her no." "Robert, she has a right to discuss settlement terms." "Fine. Here. Now. With you present." Eleanor nodded, made the call. Melissa arrived 30 minutes later. She looked different, smaller somehow, less polished, more human. She sat across from me, Eleanor between us, referee. "Thank you for agreeing to meet," Melissa said. I didn't respond. "I want to..." She stopped, started again. "I owe you an apology." "You don't owe me anything." "I do. For the lies, for the deception, for all of it." "Apology noted." She flinched. "Robert, please. Can we just talk? Like adults?" "We are talking. You know what I mean." I looked at Eleanor. She nodded slightly. "Permission." "What do you want, Melissa?" "I want you to understand why I did it. Why I..." Her voice cracked. "I was trying to save us." "By lying?" "By giving you what you needed. An heir, a legacy, a way out of the shame." "I didn't need an heir. I needed a partner, someone I could trust. You stopped trusting me years ago, ever since that diagnosis. You pulled away, shut down, stopped talking to me about anything real." She was right. I had. "So you went to Monaco," I said. "I went to Monaco because I was lonely, because I felt invisible, because..." She stopped, wiped her eyes. "Because I was tired of living with a ghost." The words hit harder than they should have. "The contract," I said, "the $3 million, that wasn't about loneliness." "No, that was about survival. I have no career, Robert, no job, no prospects. 15 years as your wife. That's my resume. When we divorce, I get a settlement. But then what? I'm 40, no skills, no purpose." "So you decided to sell a baby." "I decided to secure my future. And yours. We both would have won. Except I would have lived a lie." "You were already living a lie." "True." Eleanor cleared her throat. "Perhaps we should focus on the legal matters." Melissa nodded, composed herself. "I'm not fighting the divorce. I'll sign whatever Eleanor puts in front of me. I just want..." She paused. "I want you to know I'm sorry, truly, and I hope someday you can forgive me." "I already have," I said. She looked up, surprised. "Not for you," I continued. "For me. I forgave you because holding on to anger was killing me, but forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. It means I'm letting go." Tears streamed down her face. She nodded. "The baby," she said. "When I find out who the father is, would you want to know?" "No." "Okay." She stood. "Eleanor will send me the papers. I'll sign them, and then I'll be gone." She walked to the door, stopped, turned back. "For what it's worth, you were a good husband, better than I deserved." Then she left. Eleanor and I sat in silence. "That went better than expected," she said finally. "Did it?" She could have fought, made it ugly. She chose not to. "Small mercies." Eleanor pulled out another file. "There's one more thing." "What?" "Sophia, Melissa's daughter. She's asked to meet you." "Why?" "Because Melissa told her about the divorce, about the baby, about everything. And Sophia has questions." "About what?" "About family, about what happens now, about..." Eleanor paused. "Whether you're still her stepfather." "I wasn't, legally. We'd never been legally connected. But..." "When?" I asked. "This weekend, if you're willing." I thought about the letter, the purple gel pen, the little hearts in the margins. "I understand if you're too busy." "Tell her yes," I said. Saturday came. I drove to Ashford Academy, 2 hours north, Massachusetts boarding school, red brick, old money, tradition. Sophia met me in the visitors' lounge, 12 years old, Melissa's eyes, someone else's face. "Hi," she said. "Hi." We sat, awkward, two strangers connected by someone else's lies. "Mom said you're getting divorced," she said. "Yes." "Because of the baby?" "Partly." She nodded, picked at her fingernails. "I'm sorry." "You don't have to be sorry. None of this is your fault." "Mom said..." She stopped, started again. "Mom said you didn't know about me until recently." "That's true." "Did you..." She looked up. "Did you feel mad when you found out?" "I felt sad." "Sad?" "Sad that we didn't get to know each other. sad that you were here, writing letters, and I didn't know you existed. Her eyes filled. Nobody ever says that. Says what? That they wanted to know me. My chest tightened. Sophia, I said, your mother made a lot of mistakes, but you weren't one of them. She cried then, quietly. I didn't know if I should hug her, if that was appropriate, if she hugged me first. Can I, she said into my shoulder, can I still call you Uncle Robert, or is that weird now? It's not weird. Okay, she pulled back, wiped her eyes. Mom said you inherited a lot of money from your grandfather. I did. What are you going to do with it? Good question. I'm not sure yet, I said. What do you think I should do? She considered this, serious, thoughtful. Something that helps people, she said. People who feel invisible, like nobody sees them. Out of the mouths of children. That's a good idea, I said. Yeah. We talked for another hour, about school, about her friends, about books she was reading, normal things, real things. When I left, she walked me to my car. Uncle Robert? She said, yeah. Thanks for coming. Nobody usually... She stopped. Thanks. I'll come back, I said, if you want. I want. I drove home. 2 hours, thinking. About Sophia, about invisibility, about people who need to be seen, about what my grandfather said. Real strength isn't making an heir. It's choosing your own path. I called Eleanor. I want to use the inheritance, I said, to start something. Start what? A foundation. For men dealing with infertility, support, resources, counseling, everything I didn't have when I got my diagnosis. She paused. That's a beautiful idea. I want to call it the Harrison Foundation for Reproductive Health and Dignity. Dignity? Eleanor repeated. I like that. Can you help me set it up? I'd be honored. 6 months later, I'm standing in a community center in downtown Greenwich. Renovated space, open floor plan, natural light, comfortable chairs arranged in circles. Today is the grand opening, the Harrison Foundation. Our first support group starts in an hour. Eleanor is here. She helped with all the legal work, pro bono. Sophia is here too. Spring break. She wanted to come. I picked her up from school yesterday. It's nice, she says, looking around. Feels safe. That's the idea. On the wall, there's a display case, glass, locked. Inside, my grandmother's diamond ring, 2 carats, platinum. The plaque underneath reads, Courage to be vulnerable. In memory of Charles Harrison, who taught us that real strength isn't hiding our wounds, it's having the courage to heal them. Sophia reads the plaque. Your grandfather sounds like he was a good man. He was. Eventually. We both were. Eventually. She smiles. People start arriving. Men, different ages, different backgrounds, all carrying the same invisible weight. I greet them, shake hands, welcome them. One man, maybe 30, lingers near the door. First time? I ask. Yeah, I just got the diagnosis last week. My wife doesn't know yet. I don't know how to... He stops, looks at the floor. Tell her? I finish. He nods. That's what we're here for, I say, to figure out how, together. He looks up. You've been through this? Yeah, the hard way, but I made it through, so will you. He follows me inside. The group starts, 10 men, some with partners, some alone, all scared, all brave for showing up. I tell my story, the diagnosis, the lies, the 8 years of shame, the fake birth certificate I almost used, the grandfather who tested me, the wife who betrayed me, the moment I chose truth over money. When I finish, the room is quiet. Then one man says, "Thank you." Another, "I thought I was the only one." Another, "My wife left when she found out. He breaks. "I've been so alone." We talk for 2 hours, stories, pain, hope, healing. When it ends, the man from the door approaches me. "I'm going to tell her tonight," he says, "my wife, about the diagnosis." That's brave. No, brave is choosing to stop hiding. You taught me that. He leaves, stronger than he arrived. Eleanor comes over. You did good, Robert. We did good. Sophia is looking at the diamond ring in the display case. Can I ask you something? She says. Of course. Why didn't you keep it? The ring. It's your grandmother's? You could have given it to... She stops. To someone special. I did give it to someone special, I say. To everyone who walks through these doors. It's not mine anymore. It belongs to all of us. A reminder that legacy isn't what we inherit. It's what we build. She nods, thinks. That's really cool, Uncle Robert. Thanks, kid. We lock up. The first session is done, many more to come. As we walk to the car, Sophia says, Mom's having the baby next month. I heard. It's Julian's. The paternity test came back. How's she doing? Okay, I guess. She moved to New York, starting over. She asked about you. What did she ask? If you were happy. What did you tell her? I told her I thought you were. Are you? I think about it. Really think about it. 6 months ago, I had a wife, a dying grandfather, a $22 million inheritance hanging in the balance, a lie so big it had its own heartbeat. Now I have none of that, but I have this foundation, these men, this purpose. I have Sophia who visits on breaks and calls me Uncle Robert and reminds me that family isn't blood. I have Eleanor who became a friend when I needed one most. I have a community of men learning to be vulnerable together. I have the truth, finally. Yeah, I say, I'm happy. Good, Sophia says, you deserve it. We drive home, my home now, the Greenwich condo, smaller than the mansion but mine, and order pizza and watch movies like normal people do. Family isn't always blood. Sometimes it's the people who show up when everyone else walks away. If you have a found family story, someone who chose you when they didn't have to, I'd love to hear it. Share it in the comments. Because those are the stories that matter. Those are the stories that save us. That night, after Sophia's asleep in the guest room, I sit in my office. Office, different desk, different safe. But some things I kept. I open the drawer. Inside the fake birth certificate, the one I prepared 6 months ago. Father line filled out in my handwriting, a lie in ink. I never destroyed it, kept it as a reminder of who I almost became and who I chose to be instead. I look at it for a long time, then I take it to the shredder. It feeds through, strip by strip, the lie disappearing, the past destroyed. My phone buzzes, text from Eleanor. First donation just came in, $50,000, anonymous. I think it's from Julian Blackwood's ex-wife. She included a note. For the men who tell the truth. Thought you'd want to know. I smile. Text back. Perfect. Another text comes through. Different number. Unknown. Hi, Uncle Robert. It's Sophia. I'm using the phone you gave me. Just wanted to say thanks for today and for everything. You're the only adult who's never lied to me. That means a lot. Good night. I read it 3 times. Then I text back. Good night, kiddo. See you at breakfast. I sit in the dark. The shredder is quiet now. The fake birth certificate is gone. In its place, the truth. Messy, imperfect, real. Blood makes you family. That's what my grandfather used to say, what everyone says. But it's not true. Blood doesn't make you family. Choice does. Showing up does. Truth does. Courage does. I learned that the hard way. Lost a wife. Lost a fortune. Most of it anyway. Lost the perfect life I thought I was supposed to have. But I found something better. I found myself. Not the man everyone expected me to be. Not the Harrison heir with the bloodline and the legacy and the mansion in Greenwich. Just Robert, 41 years old, infertile, divorced, flawed, and finally free. The diamond ring sits in its case at the foundation, locked behind glass, a symbol, a reminder. Real strength isn't making an heir. It's choosing your own path. My grandmother was right, and my grandfather, the man who tested me, pushed me, waited 8 years for me to choose integrity over inheritance, he was right too. Not about blood, he was wrong about that, but about character, about courage, about the kind of man worth being. he was right about that. I think he'd be proud of the foundation, of the truth, of the man I became when I stopped trying to be the man I thought I should be. I know I'm proud. For the first time in 8 years, I'm proud of myself. Not because I inherited 22 million. Not because I run the family company. Not because I upheld some legacy. Because I chose truth when it cost me everything. And in losing everything, I found what actually matters. 6 months from now, the foundation will serve 200 men. A year from now, 500. Sophia will graduate from Ashford Academy. She's asked if she can spend summers with me. I said yes. Melissa's baby, Julian's son, will be born. She'll raise him in New York. Different life, different choices. I hope she finds peace. Julian will rebuild, or he won't. Either way, it's not my story anymore. Eleanor will remain my lawyer and my friend, and me, I'll keep showing up, keep telling my story, keep reminding men that infertility isn't failure, that vulnerability isn't weakness, that asking for help is the bravest thing you can do. I'll keep choosing truth, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, because that's what legacy actually is. Not money, not blood, not tradition. Legacy is having the courage to be yourself and giving others permission to do the same. That's the Harrison legacy now. And I'm finally worthy of it. Family isn't blood, it's choice. And I choose this, all of it, the messy, imperfect, beautiful truth.